Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, and happy holidays, and welcome to another installment of Dear Deja. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here and you're checking out this content, please do me a favor and go hit the thumbs up and like the video so I can know that you're here. That's also your free way of supporting my YouTube channel. Also, you can copy this link and send it to anybody that you would like so they can check out the Dear Deja content because from what I hear, Dear Deja's ahead, okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Let's get it started. I don't want to keep you too long. So, let's read this Dear Deja letter, okay? Gotta put my glasses on because getting older, okay? All right. So, here we go. Dear Deja, Dear Deja, I am a 27-year-old whose rug has been swept from underneath me. 19 months ago, I was engaged, in love, and in the first trimester of my first pregnancy, gainfully employed and so motherfucking happy. Well, long story short, after a turn of many unfortunate events that I would rather share in a private session, I've been knocked down and reduced to single and grieving mom, unemployed, and back at home with my mom. My mom and I have not had the best relationship because she was on drugs when I was younger and chose her habit over me. I was raised in a foster care system, and by the time she got sober, I was already grown. So me coming to stay with her is an attempt. Is me coming to stay with her attempt and is her attempt and mine at as well at rebuilding. Okay, she kind of misspelled some things there. What I didn't know was that there would be a third party involved in our healing process. Her man. He's a recovering addict as well and gives me the impression that he's still on drugs. He's very controlling and hyper paranoid. Anyway, mom and I got into an argument over some household rules that escalated into a face-to-face screaming match. I'm guessing because of his paranoia, he felt I was a threat to my mom, and before I knew it, he was aggressively restraining me. In my efforts to try to get him off me, I think it further angered him, and before I knew it, we were in a full-fledged fight. This man is at least 70 pounds more than me, 2 feet taller than me, and 100 times stronger than me. When I tell you, Khadija, he beat the shit out of me, and my mom stood by and watched. I was so defeated and broken after the altercation that I decided to call the police and press charges. Do you know my mom took his side, said I was the aggressor, and got me arrested as well? I'm fucking heartbroken. I have nowhere to go, and I literally want to kill him and more so my mom. What should I do? Please help. Signed, a deserted daughter. Okay. Okay. Take a sip of my drink. Wow, that was a heavy one. I'm gonna let me take off these glasses. I'm gonna start off by first, sending some healing wishes and some well wishes to you because physical altercations at any age, in any day, and with anybody are always very stressful. They're always very stressful because who wants to be fighting? Who wants to be fighting? Unless you are trained, unless you're with MMA, unless you're getting paid for it, right? Nobody wants to be getting in physical altercations because they are painful, they are stressful, they are tiresome, and they take a lot out of you, right? And they don't take anything out of you in a good way. Like I said, if you're not getting paid to do this, it's not a good thing, right? On top of having to have a physical altercation and being, from what you said, getting the beat out of you, it was at the hands of someone that your mom is involved with, and also your mom stood by and, according to you, allowed this to happen, right? Let me first say that I'm so sorry you had to endure that. Let me say that once again because I need to emphasize that nobody should have to endure that. It's painful, it's hurtful, it's not fair, it shouldn't be happening. Long story short, and not just because it's your mom's boyfriend, it shouldn't be happening because no man should be putting their hand on any woman and vice versa. Okay, so like I said, you have my apologies that took place. I wish it didn't, and I pray that, moving forward, those behaviors won't continue, right? But let's scale all the way back so we can try to come to some resolution because I know from what you said in the letter, this is really not more so about your mother's boyfriend in a sense that you want to have some healing with him. I think it's more so you would rather have the healing take place with you and your mom, right? So I want to scale back with that, right? I know that you said in one part you said that you went to live back with your mom, but then another part you also said that the entire time that you were young, your mom was on drugs, so you were in foster care. So I don't know if when she got sober and you became an adult, you stayed with her for a little while, then moved on, or what. I got a little confused with that part of the letter because I felt like, when did you live with her before? And for you to say you're back with her, unless you meant like when you was a baby before you got taken away from her. But again, you could clarify that in a one-on-one session. That's not the long and the short of it. I also wanted to ask the feelings and surrounding everything that's going on in your life, because what you said was, you sound like about 2 years ago you had a lot going for yourself and a lot to look forward to and a lot of things that made you happy. And then you said that all of those things were gone and you were pretty much reduced to living back home with your mom, to what it sounds like, until you got back on your feet. So before we get into the relationship you shared with your mom, I would just be having some conversation with you about what took place 2 years ago, and I mean, what took place, what was going on 2 years ago versus what's happening now, and your feelings surrounding that. Because what it sounds like is a lot of trauma took place within this last 2 years. And the reason why I'm bringing that trauma up is because it sounds like the situation with you and your mom escalated, which got her boyfriend involved, because y'all may have been having some back and forth. And I'm not saying that's your fault. I just would like to know, is that due to some of your trauma, and vice versa, right? But the only reason why I'm not speaking about mom and the boyfriend, and that's not because I'm taking the blame off them. It's only because you're the person that wrote the letter, so naturally I have to speak to you and about you, right? When we go through traumatic situations, it is, not only is it hard and sometimes damn near impossible to rebound, sometimes we think we rebound. Sometimes we think we have rebound. Sometimes we think we have bounced back and we got it and we good now and we got our feet planted on solid ground. And then situations occur that expose that we may not be healed or healing the way we thought. And then I know in the letter you said that you and your mom pretty much got into it over some household stuff. I would need to know the details of what that was, because if you came to stay with her and she has some household rules and regs, I don't see what the debate would be, because the only thing is to get with them, because now you're there with her, right? But I think it's easier said than done to be like, oh, well, she gave you some rules and you need to follow them. When number one on the list, you may have some trauma for what you went through in these last couple of months. And number two on the list, you may have residual trauma with her from your upbringing that you guys have not addressed. So if you guys are having an argument or a debate or a disagreement and there's layers of trauma there between y'all two, it's no way that situation is going to come out great, because the trauma will seep in and the end result will be what took place, which is a face-to-face screaming battle. So before we even got into what the boyfriend did, how you felt the mother took his side, we would have to go all the way back to talk to me about what happened within these last 19 to 24 months, I think you said, and also talk to me about your feelings regarding your mom, right? Because you said that one of the words that you chose that I paid attention to was she chose her habit over you. And I feel like you said that because that's what you think. That's what you feel, right? That could also be what you know, right? And I can't imagine already being stressed out and feeling a way towards a person because they chose something over you, and then having to go stay with that person and try to make one of the most traumatic times in your life better, being there with them. Then being there with a third party who you don't really know. It doesn't sound like y'all built a relationship within the time you was there before the incident. So this could all be a combination of a snowball effect, right? So once again, like I tell people, when you write in Dear Deidre letters, You are writing in about a situation that you're involved in. 99.9% of the time when people write in these letters, they're not the only person involved in the situation. It's other folks is involved as well. And I know most times when I'm giving the feedback, some people, if you're just initially listening and you don't know what Dear DJ is about, or you don't know me personally, or you didn't watch the first videos, or you don't know about Operation Heal 100 Hearts, you're looking at it like, why are you saying that everything this person is telling you about that everybody else did is quote unquote this person's fault? Not at all. What I share with people is that you are only writing in a Dear DJ letter under the pretense of you would like to have an Operation Heal 100 Heart session. And because for whatever reason you don't want to come in to have it, you're writing your letter to get some feedback and see what that would look or feel like regarding you. When I do Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions, I do not focus on anybody outside of the situation but you. Even though you share with me that they are very participatory in the situation, I still don't focus on them. I focus on you. I tell people all the time that when you get up to the heavenly gates, God is not going to ask you about nobody else but you. So be prepared to answer for all of your sins, right? And all of your blessings, right? So that is why we're here, because I'm trying to prep you as well as I'm prepping to be able to be responsible and mature enough to take accountability for the position I played in any situation. That does not mean other folks didn't play a part. That does not mean nothing was done to you. That just means right now I don't care, and I'm asking you not to care about those other folks. We're just speaking to and about you. Right? Okay, so now back to where we're coming from. My concern from what you shared in this letter thus far, because remember, I'm only getting a snapshot from this about the situation from the letter, is that there may have been pre-existing trauma. There may have been pre-existing trauma. I believe that more trauma was added when you went to stay with her, and it doesn't sound like you guys really sat down and talked or rekindled your relationship. You didn't say anything of the sort in the letter. It just almost sounds like, listen, I fell in a hard time. She's my biological mom. That's the only place I had to go, so I called and I said, can I come? Right? I don't think from what you shared in the letter there was much dialogue about the past and moving forward and how you felt, which is she chose her habit over you, and what her explanation was for that. I think it's just, listen, I fell on hard times and I need somewhere to stay, right? Now, walking into that, even though that's your biological mom, it's still kind of sort of like a stranger, right? Because, and not a stranger in the sense of I've never seen you before, but I don't know your day-to-day habits and what your life is about in and out, because, we're not that close. We haven't lived together in years, according to you, so on and so forth. And the reason why I also feel that way is because you shared that there's a boyfriend that you didn't know about until you got there to the house. And if that situation is quote unquote that serious, you would know. So I'm guessing that you guys are not really that close. It was just a matter of I fell on hard times, some bad things happened to me. You're my mom, I need somewhere to go. And she may have felt the guilt of, I have to let you come here because prior to this, you weren't living here, we weren't together. And she may, just like you, have wanted to make the situation work. Again, that's a beautiful thing. I'm all in support of mom and daughters rebuilding their relationships that they've been tarnished. Me and my mom have an excellent relationship from birth. Shout out Miss Penny, right? So I love that. But I think that neither one of you factored in that there was trauma prior to all of the stuff that took place in the last 19 to 24 months between you two. There's also trauma in what took place within the 19 to 24 months. There's also trauma on your end because it's a third party involved who you don't know, and clearly from your letter you don't feel comfortable with or around. And I'm going to add that he might feel the same because his hyper paranoia and all of the things you shared, it doesn't seem like he was very comfortable with you being there as well. So that's another level of trauma, that I'm staying in a household with a person that I love but I don't really know, and also with a person that I don't know at all, and they're not comfortable with me. So that's another level of trauma, right? And then trying to get on middle ground and say, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that for us to coexist here. Because a lot of the things that she may feel needs to be done in her household, you may not be in agreement with. And it sounds like you wasn't, which is why things erupted. Okay. I'm gonna give you the long and the short of this. And the long of this is um there's a lot that you need to work through. Not just from now, but from way back when. But before we could get into what you need to work through, the short of it is you have to look at what you're up against. What you're up against is A, you have nowhere to go. And B, from what it sounds like, this is the only person that you have to turn to. Now, me personally, I don't think it's conducive to anyone's mental health to have to go somewhere, live somewhere, be somewhere, hang somewhere, or see someone every day that makes them uncomfortable. I think that's another level of trauma. I remember I worked at a job with a woman who I grew to dislike and have a lot of disdain for, and the fact that I had to mentally prepare to go to work and see her every day, it fucked with my mental health. So to live in a space where you have to mentally prepare for what every day looks like living in that space, in my opinion, is not healthy for you. But I cannot tell you what you can withstand and what you can endure. What I will say is you have two options here. Number one, if you're anything like me and it's just not good for your mental health, which means I know for me, when I'm not in a good mental health state, I cannot get things done. So I would have to remove myself, right? And what that looks like is, if you live in a city or state where they may have a shelter system, maybe looking into that. If there's another relative, I know that you said that you said you were in foster care. So I don't know if that means you're in a group home setting, if you were in a foster home. Is there any one of those people or any relationships you built with any of those people that you can say, hey, temporarily, can I stay with you until I get on my feet? And the key to doing that is you have to have a better relationship with whoever you're asking this of than you do with your mom. Because if that's the case and you have the same or less of a relationship with that person, you might as well stay with your mom. But if there is another person that you do have a better relationship with and you think that they would be open to allowing that, then I think that you should take the necessary steps to consult with them. Because having to live in the space and mentally prepare for what every day is going to look like, which is AKA walking on eggshells because you just don't know, is a lot of stress. And I can't imagine you being healthy enough to get a job and get on your feet and move past whatever took place in the 19 to 24 months in the past with now an even more pressing matter on your back and in your heart, right? So if there is another person, that's one option we would be talking about. And then number two, let's just say that there is no shelter system, there is no other person, there is no other roads to take but this one, then there's going to take some shifting on your part, my dear. There's going to take some shifting. There's going to take some humbling. There's going to take some what my mom calls eating crow. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to do to maintain a safe space until you could get the fuck out of there. Right? Am I saying that's right? Am I saying that your mom should make you have to tiptoe around her and all this nonsense? No, 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 no. Right? But what I am saying is that there is some things you're going to have to do in order to maneuver past this space in your life, right? I have a few quotes that when I'm in a tough spot, I consider. Which is one, what don't kill you only helps build you, right? And you can take that one with you, right? And two is God gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers. Okay, so I'm just saying that because when I'm in moments of adversity, right, when it's a pressing matter, when I feel like God has totally left me, has forgot about all my prayers, has dissed me, has left me out in the cold, and I'm just here like, God, what the fuck is this? Like, this is totally opposite of what I need right now. I say to myself, no, it's not. It's totally what I do need. And because it's totally what I do need in the moment, I can be able to push through. I just have to remain quiet, still, and faith filled, and realize that I'm going to get something from this right now. I just have to see what that is, right? My hope and my prayer is that what comes out of this is a better relationship for you and your mom, right? That's my hope and my prayer. But going back to the letter, it's also my fear that it could only get worse from the anger and the pain you feel towards her for what she allowed to happen, right? So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. I'm always gotta take a sip for this. I'm always at a loss for words when it comes to um, trying to dig and pry and work through situations that I am not familiar with, right? So, case in point, you know, I'm not familiar with tumultuous mother daughter relationships firsthand. And I want to say this, and I know this is crazy because I'm going to kind of veer off, right, from the letter, and just say this because it's on my heart. You know, my mom had a rough year. My mom had a rough year. She had a rough year health wise. She had a rough year. And it put a lot of things in perspective for me. So, of course, it got me back thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about all of the times we shared and all of the things my mom has done for me and all of the ways she's been there for me. And I tell people all the time, my mom is the only person on this planet who I feel like understands me, who I feel like protects me no matter what. Right? And I don't want to get emotional with this letter, but it just makes me feel sad, you know, that you are feeling like the one person who other women know will have their back no matter what and will love them, will protect them through thick and thin, has not only turned their back on you, but put somebody else before you yet again. Yet again, right? And I can imagine how abandoned you might feel. Oh, excuse me, y'all. That just came out of nowhere. I can't imagine how abandoned you feel in this moments because not only did the first time when you had the opportunity to choose me, you chose drugs. Now this time when you have the opportunity not only to choose me, but also to protect me, you allowed somebody else to get in the way of that and you chose them. Right? So I know that is a level of trauma and a level of hurt that is so deep rooted that it could possibly make you hate your mother, right? So I get that part of it. I get that part of it. The human in me gets that part of it, right? But I think there is a space, you know, and an opportunity for some healing to take place if that's what you choose to do, you know. Getting arrested, the whole court situation, I honestly can't say what would be the outcome of that. I don't know if your mom has to go to court and say, yeah, she did this. I don't know what's next steps for you guys with that, right? What I will say is that our parents are people before anything. And they have a load of trauma that they have endured before they became our parents. And what I will offer you in these moments is to try your best to see past the exterior of your mom and get to know who she is on the interior, because then you will know why she made some of the decisions that she made regarding you and regarding her own life. And I think that once you get to know how human your mother is and how much trauma she's experienced and how much things she has to endure and the shit she probably thinks about on a daily basis and the decisions that she makes and the reasons that she makes them, I think that even if you guys don't become friends, I think that even if you guys don't have the best mother-daughter relationship, you will be able to find it somewhere deep down in your heart to forgive her enough for you to be able to move forward past this. right? And once again, like I said, moving forward past situations does not always mean that you get the perfect resolve. Let me be clear when I say that, because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you, oh, forget about what your mother did. She's a human. She made a mistake. Still love her. That's your mother. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. The resolve could mean that I realize that you are my mother in the technical sense, but you may not be who I need you to be, and I understand and can forgive you for that. And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is because I want you to find some forgiveness in your heart so you can move forward. Because one thing I do know about people who have malice and hate and hurt and anger in their heart about a situation, they cannot move forward from it. And it shows up in their everyday behaviors. And you will continue to have tumultuous relationships with other women because you still have such anger and hurt and unresolved tension with your own mom. Right? So the only reason why I'm offering that you kind of get to know who she was as a person prior to is because I think it would give you, it would give you a standpoint to work from of why she made decisions that she made, whether you agree with them or not. And it will also open your mind and your heart to forgiving her. Am I saying that with forgiveness comes, okay, we're going to be perfect now? That's not always. That's not always. That's a perfect resolve. That's an ideal resolve. That's what, if we lived in a perfect world, what folks would like to see. But the reality of the situation is you don't always get that. What you get is what's real. And what could be real for you is, I love you, Ma, because I got to know who you are and what you've been through. I understand why you made decisions that you made, but I also feel like because of who you are, I need to love you from a distance, right? Or we can have the perfect resolve where it's like, I can love you through anything. That's up to you. That's up to you. I don't want to push you in a direction of tearing down or rebuilding a relationship with your mom. I want to push you in a direction of forgiveness. And the only reason why I'm pushing you in that direction because that is solely for you. That has nothing to do with your mom. That forgiveness is for you. So you can move forward and have relationships with other women and raise beautiful daughters and have relationships with your nieces and your cousins and any other woman that you encounter on this planet, because you can open your heart to women even though your heart was broken by the first woman that you ever encountered. You know why? Because you have forgiven her. Right, so, oh my goodness, I can't believe you made me get emotional in this doggone letter. I can't believe that. But I think that the emotions comes from, like I said, me being human and my heart genuinely going out to you, because it's not easy. It's not easy. That's not easy. To be a third party hearing what happened, my natural response is like, your mother. You know what I'm saying? That's what you would say. But at the end of the day, saying that doesn't bring about healing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Operation Heal 100 Hearts is. That's what Dear Deidre letters have been constructed for, because I'm all about the healing space. And again, the healing space does not have to look ideal to what anybody else thinks it should. It just has to feel good for you. It has to allow you to be able to move forward. And more importantly, it has to allow you to heal. And being angry and upset and pissed with your mother, it does not help you heal. It only furthers your trauma, and moving forward, because you have such trauma, it will continue to manifest in your behaviors and bleed on everybody else who did not cut you. You deserve better than that. You deserve better than that, my dear. Okay, so as far as your legal situations, like I said, I don't know. I don't know how it goes legally with this whole thing. I just gave you some advice for trying to push forward in your healing with your mom. Sometimes this is the perfect advice. Sometimes it's not. You get to go in and take the meat and leave the bones. That's up to you, right? But I hope and pray that I provided some insight to you, in a perspective that has you opening up your heart to next steps for you. In order for you to live a happy life, in order for you to build relationships, in order for you to be at peace with yourself. and begin your healing journey. Once again, I'm truly sorry that you're enduring this. I'm also sorry that I got emotional because I did not mean to do that. But if you know me personally, everybody that knows me, I am one of the most emotional people on the planet. So I can bust out crying in a heartbeat, and especially when I'm overwhelmed with emotions. And in that moment, thinking about, what you're growing through with your mom, and thinking about, how important it is for us to have strong women and strong relationships with women who we love and care about, and just hearing how, hurt you are through your letter, it just, I don't know, it brought me to tears. But like I said, God bless all of our moms, because before they were our moms, they were people, and they have their own trauma that some of them have yet to deal with. God bless us for being blessed with mothers, you know what I'm saying, who we can work with and show them that there is a healing that can take place if you wanted to, and I'm praying that all of the things that you endured, not just from a little kid, but even within the last 19-24 months that hurt you, God will bring you to a healing space, and it will make you better instead of bitter. In any event, I do also hope and pray that you come for more one-on-one sessions face-to-face. I would love to hug you. You know what I'm saying? I would love to have this conversation face-to-face. I would love to also let you know that I don't know how much we differ in age. I'm not your mom, but I'm always open to being and showing you that there can be woman-to-woman positive relationships with women who love and care about you, and you can feel that. Right? So, God, I can't believe you got me doggone crying this letter, but that just lets you know how much I love doing the work. In any event, I hope this helped. I'm praying for you. Happy holidays. Be safe. I hope your legal situation gets better before it gets worse. And in any event, I'm here. So if you need more input, more advice, or one-on-one session, feel free to hit me up. Ladies and gentlemen, happy holidays, and also Happy New Year.